Hey guys, Papa Pete here, back with another pickup video. Haven't had a pickup video in a long time. I got some really neat stuff. I got some gifts that some friends gave me. I've got some other odd pickups from thrift shops. And I got this great Facebook find. It's a console that I'd never played before. I was so happy to pick up. Can't wait to show you what I got. Stick around.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
First thing I want to point out, guys, I want to point out my shirt here. High Tides, Good Vibes, St. Stephen, New Brunswick. That's a new used vinyl shop. Just opened up my hometown here. And the guy's got a great selection of classic rock, basically any type of old vinyl that you would like, or some new vinyl as well. He sells quite a bit of new vinyl. And also, he's in the business. You can find him on Facebook. So he'll do some mail order if you're interested. If you're looking for something you can't find, hit him up. You never know what he'll be able to find. And he's also always looking to buy lots of vinyl, CDs, cassettes, even 8-tracks and stuff. Just stuff that's different. Anyway, check it out on Facebook. Right on. Let's get on to the pickups. The first thing I want to show you is something I picked up at a thrift shop over in Calais, Maine a little while back. Didn't cost a whole lot, and I had never really seen any of these before. We all have movies. I always collect VHS tapes and now I collect DVDs. I guess everything's really kind of going digital now, but I like that physical media. So when I saw these, I just couldn't resist. Didn't pay a whole lot of money for them, like $3 or $4 each. But I found Laserdisc copies of Jaws, first of all. And there's nothing more classic than Jaws. And to go along with that Spielberg title, I got a copy of E.T. And they're beautiful. They're in really good shape. You know, a couple creases on the cases and such, but really they're almost like display quality. I really glad to have picked them up. Now, I actually got a third one, and the third one is my favorite of all. One of my favorite movies of all time. I still remember going to the theater to see it when I was about 13 or 14 with my brother-in-law. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I haven't got a Laserdisc player. I don't know if it works or what the scoop is, but you know, I don't care. It's just it's a beautiful item to have. Great graphics on it. Really happy to have them. The next lot that I want to show you guys is something that came from a friend of mine who, I graduated from high school way back when, and he used to like video games. He still likes games, but he doesn't collect them like I do. And every once in a while he'll come across some old stuff kicked around his house, and he doesn't really want to keep it, but he knows how much I like it, so he just always brings it over and gives it to me. I don't know if you can see in the background here. I'll move the Rebel Gaming Club out of the way. I've got just a small Sega CD collection here. Actually, he gave me those probably 5 or 6 years ago. Some great titles of the Sega CD, including the Terminator is one of those games. So I mean, those are pretty cherished items for me. And you know, there's things that I'll always want to keep because they're a gift from a friend. They're not something that I picked up cheap and want to sell for a lot more money. They're worth quite a bit now, but they came as a gift from a friend of mine, so I'm going to keep them right there. Anyway, he brought another lot out to me just the other day. I'm going to go through it pretty quick because some of these are commons, but it's still great games to have. I've had one pickup of PS3 before, so I don't even have a system. It's about the only system I don't have, like of a modern day system. Anyway, gave me a copy of Madden 15, and also a real classic game, Virtua Fighter 4. It's a really good shape. The manuals are good. The case isn't the best, but the disc itself is really good, and I just come to realize it's Tekken Tag inside. I don't know, I'll check it out sometime. Anyway, Tekken Tag, but the manual is Virtua Fighter 4. That is so weird. I didn't even notice that till right now. Obviously, I hadn't played it yet. Okay, next one. Pac-Man 2. I love that game. I really do like those Pac-Man games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I've got a few of the other Pro Skaters. And along with that is Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Those aren't so much, I never found those to be as much games as just almost like toys, something to play with. There's more fun just moving around than trying to play the actual game itself. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get into it enough. Anyway, there's still some more in that lot that he gave me. Now, along with the PS2 and the PS3 games, he gave me some PS1 games. So, first one, Cool Boarders 2. I used to have that a long time ago. It's not in great shape, but I didn't have it in my collection. Not the original disc. I think I just played a burn copy years ago or whatever. But anyway, I was really happy to pick that up. He gave me a copy of Knockout Kings. This is when they started getting better and better, the boxing games and the systems. I think Genesis sort of started to pick it up to begin with, and the PlayStation just moved it another step further. You all know how much I like NASCAR games. NASCAR Rumble. I've never played this game. I've played a lot of the games on the PS2, but I'm kind of looking forward to trying this one out just to see how primitive it is, and also, frankly, to be able to play as some of the drivers, the older drivers that I just started watching NASCAR probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and there's going to be drivers in this that I've heard about but I've never actually seen, so it'll be kind of neat to see that. The next one is really kind of neat, I thought, because he gave me 2 games from the Oddworld line of games, probably 2 of the very first ones. I got Abe's Odyssey and Oddworld Abe's Exodus. I've never played too much of these. I've played some on the Xbox. There's a couple games for the Xbox. But these original PlayStation ones, they may even be the very first ones. I'm not 100% sure. I'll check that out. But I was very happy to get games like this, you know, because you see so many sports games and stuff kicking around. And to find nice, like these are, it's pretty good condition as well. With the open, the case, the manual and everything's there. I was just really happy to pick those up. Okay, the next one I was really interested in getting. It's another one of the games like Abe's Exodus that it's a 4-disc game. There were quite a few of those for the PlayStation back in the day, and a lot of them they're kind of hard to find because the cases get broke, the discs get lost. It wasn't one of the top names that you hear all the time today, but it's really quite interesting, and that's the X-Files. Really good shape, good condition. I guess there's 3 discs, maybe. Maybe there's only 2. Take a check. No, there's 3 discs. The manual's right here. It's in very good shape. I lied to you. It is 4 discs. Very happy to get it in this condition. Not a thing wrong with it. The discs all look very good. I took it apart earlier on and checked the discs. Very happy to get that. X-Files. The last game that he gave me, I was extremely happy to get because I can remember playing it a lot back about 15, 20 years ago. And it really is an all-time classic. And that is CTR Crash Team Racing. Yes, it's a knockoff of Mario Kart, but if you haven't played this game, I really do highly recommend it. It's very fun, it's very well made, and I spent hours and hours. I can still remember one time when my nieces and nephews, who are all like in their 30s now, were in their early teens, and they were here at the house, and we had a great big tournament, and just everybody took turns playing the 4-player, because I had a multi-tap, the 4-player Crash Team Racing, and we had a blast playing it for 3 or 4 hours one night. I don't know, those things you remember, things you do when you're a kid, or memories that you have when, you know, your family members who grew up when they were a kid. Anyway, Crash Team Racing, when I saw that in the pile, I was so happy. Now the final item for this pickup video is something that I was on Facebook one day and just out of the blue, somebody responded to an ad about having an old gaming system and I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen one before. I've seen them in some retro shops, but you just don't see them that often. I dickered with them a little bit because the person didn't know that it worked. They didn't have a power supply for it. I'm happy to say I brought it home. I looked up the right voltage, found a power supply, and it works great. So I'm really happy. And what I picked up was a Leisure Vision. Now, what some of you might be saying right now is, what's a Leisure Vision? Well, Leisure Vision is the Canadian release of the Emerson Arcadia 2001 that came out in 1981. I had never seen one before. I noticed it really reminds me of an Intellivision with the disc, but it has these sticks on it. and I've played it a little bit, and they work really well. Now, I've said before how much I am really into Intellivision because I played it a lot, if not as much, if not more than at least as much as my Atari 2600. I played my brother-in-law's Intellivision, and we used to have things called sticklers that we actually would take the discs out, you could put them in, so the discs on his Intellivision, which actually I have sitting right over there, had sticks on them. So that's what I was used to using. So this seems really familiar to me. The controllers have just one side button instead of two, although it tends to rock. I don't really know enough about the system yet. I think that is just one button, even though it feels like it would rock. And the keypad is very similar to the Intellivision. Anyway, I also got 3 games with it. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to go into the games or try to play them, but I did put them all in to see that they worked. Like the other games of that era, there were many games were 2-player only, and this is one of them right here. I got a copy of Ocean Battle. Now, Ocean Battle is reminding me, looking at it, of a bit like Sea Battle. I'd have to find a manual and try to get it going. But what it did look like on the screen was like Intellivision Sea Battle. Very interesting. It did work. It looked fine. The buttons worked. You could do this and that, but I just didn't know enough about the game. I didn't take the time to learn it, to play it, but I'm sure it's a 2-player game. Now next, I got a copy of Baseball, which seems to be a real standard title on the Emerson Arcadia 2001. Don't really have a whole lot to say about that. It's in pretty good shape. The label in this one's a bit rough, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. They're not worth a whole lot of money, but it's still very neat to have in your collection as long as it works, which it does. So, just very happy to try it. Maybe someday I'll get the opportunity to sit down with somebody because, again, I'm sure it's a 2-player game. The last game is a little bit more interesting because this game was not released in the States for the Emerson Arcadia 2001. It's only a European release, but it's really unusual because through all systems it seems that most games that are released in different geographical areas, Canada and the US are lumped together. But this is one case where this game was released, this game was not released in the States, but it was released in Canada and in Europe. I've had a couple offers for this game already, people looking for it because people have heard of it. It's called Super Gobbler. And as you could probably imagine or tell by looking at it, it's pretty much a Pac-Man clone. I put it in, played a little bit. It is a fun game to play. For the era, for the time that this came out, it was better, I will say, than the Atari 2600 Pac-Man. It was just plain old different and felt a little bit different. Anyway, I got this entire lot for like $40. Couldn't be any more happier. I don't know that I'm going to start trying to collect all the different games for this, but every once in a while you do see really good lots of Leisure Vision or Emerson Arcadia 2001 games available just right out of the blue. So if the opportunity presents itself, I may jump on one. Some of the games for the system are really expensive. If those games are in those lots, it could be really beneficial to pick it up. Anyway guys, that is my pickup video for this time. Don't forget to join me next time. I'm going to have a bunch more pickups to go over, and I can't wait to show you some of the other things I got, because if you notice right here, there's no Xbox things here, and I love to pick up Xbox games. I've still been building on my collection. My goal is to have a complete collection from the top down, and I'm working my way at it. Anyway, I'm Papa Pete. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today, and don't forget to click like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time, guys.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
You're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
What the hell?